Water heaters are one of the most common items that come in scrap from a residential setting. Think about it. Every day you're using your water, whether it's for taking a shower, washing your hands, or just drinking out of the tap. Now, when you have water heaters that go bad and you want to make more money on them, let's go over a couple of things and some basic ones that you can look for and things to learn about, whether you're scrapping your own, find them on the road, or maybe you do this full-time for a living. Now, this water heater weighs about 150 pounds, and things that I want to point out over here. When you look on a cross cut of this water heater, you can see why scrap yards don't love these. You have a piece of steel on the outside, you have a very heavy piece of styrofoam, and that's to keep the heat of the water inside, and then you have the interior tank. What you don't have is a whole lot of copper on it. Now you have little heating elements, and we took this one out. This heating element was inside here, and that was one of the ways that the water got hot. But when you see this small heating element inside, I'll take a file and show you, it is copper. You can see that beautiful red metal popping off of it, but it's also only half of a pound, so really not worth your time taking these off. Things you might want to take off, maybe some of the wires you want to take off because they're easy, and you definitely want to go after this piece of copper, this one, and then the brass valve in between, because those are just 1 pound of copper and brass that you can make money on. But what we wanted to do was show you a different type of water heater so you can really look out and make some solid money on it. Now here you see a larger water heater. This is an example of a heating element. Sometimes these are on ovens, but you could see different types of these, just like you saw this inside of the water heater. Now this water heater has a heating element that's significantly bigger, and let me show you. We took the bolts off in advance, but right off the top you can see copper, copper, copper. This is a little nub of brass. This is actually a piece of bronze with copper attached to it. But after all of these screws come out, and we did this in advance, look at what happens. Here's the styrofoam, here's the steel shell. Everything looks the same, right? But watch this. Look at this piece of copper that comes out. We're looking at a piece of copper that weighs 17 pounds. You have a small tube that was attached there that was plastic, but with a simple cut here and a simple cut here, you take this piece of copper, 17 pounds, let's say it's $3 a pound, that's a $51 piece of copper that otherwise would have been thrown away inside of the water heater. Now, I know that many scrap yards, including my own, generally buy standard residential water heaters like the first one that we showed at a standard price because there's just not a lot of material on them, and we know that there's such a heavy level of styrofoam, the metal really doesn't pay off. But when you find these larger, and they're out there in the residential as well as the light industrial area, you find these water heaters, this is a major win. And once in a while you can take your magnet, and this top piece is actually brass. Now this one is steel, but again, something to look for when you have a 6-pound piece of brass on the top and a 17-pound piece of copper on the bottom, and then you still have a couple of knobs, piece of brass here, the pieces of brass on top. This is a major win, and this is somewhere where you could pick it up for nothing or a few bucks, sell the steel for $10, $15 and make 50 to 60 bucks on the copper and brass, and that's how you increase your profit, by learning about little scrap secrets like this one. So I can't wait to hear what you think about this. Tell us about videos that maybe we haven't thought about, or water heaters that we haven't taken apart, so we can demonstrate those and show you and other scrappers how to make more money.